Welcome back to another episode of
Femme Forward.
I'm your host, Yareti Martinez.
And I'm Nubia Fernandez.
And with us, we have Shaquira Robinson.
Yay!
So, Shaquira, how did you come into Young Women's Preparatory Academy?
My mom had found out actually from a girlfriend of hers. Her daughter was in the middle school. So it was the first year of the school. And she was like, I love this school. It's an all-girls school. It's a prep school. Like, they have these leadership programs and it's this magnet. And she was just bragging about it. So when I was getting ready to enter high school, my mom had applied. I got into it as a magnet. And she was like, yep, you're going here. And I was pissed. Because I was like, high school, finally, you were expecting to be like, in high school doing all the things, sports, homecoming, pep rallies, all these things. And I was like, you're sitting into an all-girls school. And then I saw how small it was. And I was like, this is like a prison. I had a fit. But lo and behold, it took about 2.5 years, but eventually I adjusted and ended up enjoying my experience at YWPA.
Okay.
That's amazing.
While at the school, Shaquira founded Girl Talk 101. So what was your process founding that organization?
So speaking to that, when I first came in, I was not happy. So I wasn't really eager to listen and follow rules. I think it took me some time to realize, like, okay, every year I would tell my friends, like, I'm not coming back. I'm switching. I'm transferring out. And every year I would be back and be pissed for like the first 2 weeks of school. And the teachers would be like, oh, I guess you're back, huh? And I'll be so mad. And I recognized, like, my graduating class, it was only 18 of us. So our class was pretty small throughout. It maybe have started from like 22 or something like that, but went down to 18. We were very like close but cliquey, where I would say like everybody kind of had their own clique, but it was very like racially divided for us. It wasn't like mixed in the time. So I like observed that and recognized that and knew, like, as I like jumped from different like friend groups, or sometimes I would interact with different girls. So like I had my Latin girls, and then we had the girls from like the Bayside area, or Key Biscayne area, sorry. And then we had like girls from like up north in Liberty City, and then we had the down south. Like, it was just everybody kind of had their own little pockets. Just hearing about the things that we were experiencing, everybody was either stressed about college prep, stressed about scholarships, getting into school, stressed about boys, relationships, at home, work balance, trying to maintain a good GPA. We were all pretty good scholars in our grade. So I think everybody was always trying to compete to be the best. And one day I talked to Miss Payer, who was the trust counselor at the time, and was like, hey, we should have a girl talk day. Like, we're in an all-girl school. We never get together to actually just talk and be girls. Like, is this something we can do as like a program or like a one-day activity for like the high schoolers? And she was like, I love that. Like, you and a few friends get together, tell me what y'all need, like what topics you want to talk about, what do you need from me, who you want to come in and speak. And she helped us form like our first Girl Talk conference. It was actually at the school. This was before we moved on to Miami-Dade College. So we had it in the cafeteria because the high school class was like 50 people. So we were there, and we had different speakers come in, and just seeing the feedback and the girls' experiences of being able to interact with girls that they normally don't talk to, or different grade levels that they normally don't interact with, I think was eye-opening for me. Like, wow, you're no longer a part of the problem, but a part of the solution. So from there, I wanted to continue to grow it and keep doing it every year, just so me and my peers had a safe space to kind of come together and talk.
Okay. So this year was actually Girl Talk 16. How's that process, like all those 16 years, what were some struggles that you went through with the organization, and how did you persevere?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, it is a lot to balance because this is a nonprofit. So when it's a nonprofit, like, I don't get paid. I don't have a salary. The people who work on my team don't get paid. They don't have a salary. We don't have that type of budget yet. So we do all this out of our heart and service to you all and the girls, because we want to continue to like uplift and forward this mission. But the hard part sometimes is balancing like life, work, and then this, because it's a second job. I tell people all the time, it's like my family. So balancing that time with like having a family and trying to go to school. When I was in college, I was still doing a full-time student, but also trying to make sure I was planning a conference for you all at the school in Miami, and I was thousands of miles away, right? So not living in Miami was a struggle at times, which I've been away for years now. And then also having to balance like with my workload or my college load at the time. It took a lot of like just time management and making sure I was prioritizing the things that I needed to get done for myself first, and then the Girl Talk. And then funding, always trying to find people who can support and donate because it costs money to do this, y'all. And at first, it was kind of like self-funded between like me, my mom, and just support system. And then now we are a 501c3, so like people give us checks and we get grants and opportunities, which has helped. But even then, like that's a competitive space. So like always trying to make sure we have enough money each year to make sure we can feed y'all, we can get y'all shirts, like we can make sure we provide something to our speakers, like just that is stressful in itself. But we always make it like when y'all come, it seems like everything's put together. Literally, y'all be knowing I'll be stressed out for like a month leading up to it. But it always works out. And I think just having faith and keeping consistency, because I know this is something that's bigger than me, is important.
We are both part of the Girl Talk committee,
Yeah.
so I feel like we are firsthand.
I wouldn't be able to take on something so big. So congrats. It's an amazing committee and an amazing event that you have created. And you're inspiring so many girls just like us every single day.
I think it's something that the girls have, like it's a safe haven for the
Yes.
girls to tour. So thank you for it. So Shaquira, you're also a Gates scholar,
Mm-hmm.
which is a full ride for undergrad and grad school.
Amazing. How did you find out about the Gates Scholarship?
So we had two counselors, Miss Payer and Miss Gottlieb, at the time. They were one was like a CAP advisor and one was like a mental health kind of counselor. She would always send out like scholarship opportunities like to the seniors through a newsletter, and different things would come across their desk where they would we had a relationship with them where they would just come into our class and be like, hey y'all, like these are some opportunities. Let us know how we can help support y'all. They would always be willing to write recommendation letters, review applications. So they were very hands-on with us matriculating into college and doing our college applications and scholarships. And because we were a very scholarly class, literally everybody left with some kind of scholarship, right? So Miss Payer, I think, had something like, I think you should apply to this and use Girl Talk as a part of your application. Like, I didn't see it as like this organization that it would become or this big thing, right? I just thought like,
Yeah.
I like doing this for me and my peers. It was a big part of my application process for Gates because it was like a 10-page application for this. They made you work for that money, but once you got it, it was worth it. So I remember needing like 3-4 recommendation letters, scripts, other things, several essays, and then there was like a second round. And then from there, I didn't find out I got it until the end of May, like 2 weeks before graduation. So I didn't know what school I was going to. Everybody else had made decisions, and I was like, I'm waiting to hear back from the scholarship because that's what I tell me. I can go where I want to go, or I have to stay somewhere I already have a scholarship at. I will remember I was going to the mail and I got this big envelope from Gates Million, and I called my mom outside and was like, I got an envelope. And I'm like, usually big envelopes mean big things. So I am pretty sure this is good. We opened the envelope, we were in the driveway screaming, hopping up and down, getting praise to God, all the things, because I knew that this would change my life forever. And it did. I was able to graduate with 3 degrees without having any debt. A lot of people can't say that for my undergrad and graduate school. So I'm very, very grateful for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for sure.
I'm currently applying for the Bill Gates Scholarship as of right now. So many of our juniors will also be applying for the scholarship come of next year. What is your biggest piece of advice that you would like to give to those applicants who are applying for the Bill Gates Scholarship?
So from what I heard, it's very differently. So I don't know if I have, because like they only cover undergrad now, I think. Is that what it is?
Only undergrad.
Yeah, so we got like 10 years worth of education.
Yeah.
They're not giving out that kind of money no more. I would say like tell a story that's unique to you, not necessarily a story that anybody else can tell. Because like me starting Girl Talk, like how many high schoolers were doing that, right? So it set me apart versus coming in with a story of adversity or about like you being a first generation scholarship, like a college student and stuff like that. Like there are numerous people who are experiencing the same thing or have that same story. So find something unique about yourself that can set you apart. I always say, so when people are reviewing the applicants, because we all got good grades, we all got community service hours. Check. That's not enough anymore, right? It's really about how you tell your story and who you are and what you want to do with your education and your goals. So I think that that's important.
Thank you.
Was there any other scholarships that you had applied during your senior year other than the Gates?
Girl, I had a lot of money, okay? I can't remember that far back, though. I was a Silver Knight recipient. So Yeah, check the resume, baby. I was really that girl, to be honest, humbly speaking. I really was my senior year. I was a Silver Knight recipient. I was also a Princeton Prize and Race Relations recipient. So that's like, you go to Princeton University, Princeton Prize is like this prestige award. And it was for people who did activities related to like race relations or like trying to unify people of different cultures and backgrounds. So of course, big NYWA, doing that, bringing the girls together and trying to like break those barriers of cliques and just bringing unity. That helped me. So like Girl Talk really changed my life in ways that like back, I just thought I was doing something that I wanted to do and just was good, but it really opened a lot of doors for me. I was also a recipient of the Ford Scholarship. So for the truck brand, car brand, they had a big one. Microsoft, I think, as well. And because I remember they gave me a laptop. Those were a lot of the outside funds. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Miami Alumni Chapter, they had like a scholarship for graduating seniors as well. So I was a recipient of that.
And you went to Purdue University, right?
I went to Purdue University in Indiana. That was cool. Very much a culture shock leaving Miami and South Florida. But it was a growing experience. It taught me how to work with people of all backgrounds, people who come from different walks of life. I experienced snow for the first time. Like, so it was just a lot of different new things for me and living in Indiana, but it was a growing.
So what was it like being a Delta in Purdue?
Yeah, so I joined my sorority my junior year, April of 2014. I have 5 other line sisters, so there's 6 of us. So it's a pretty small line for a sorority. But in the Midwest, it wasn't as many people of color at the school, so they were all pretty small. And yeah, that changed my life in so many ways, y'all. Like, honestly, truly, the women that I am still connected to because of joining that sorority are some of my closest friends, are people who have given me internships, who have helped me to get jobs, who have connected me and helped me in times of like, I need a place to stay, I'm in an emergency state, or who have sent me money and funds to help me to do things that I was doing throughout my college career as well. So I will say like that was also a very life-changing experience and one that I don't regret, and I really do think that if it's something that people are interested in, they do their research and make sure that they know why they want to do it. Everybody's why is different, but I wanted to do it because I had people in my life who were Delta women who had helped groom me and helped me to grow and become the woman I was. So I also believed in community service, which we know is a big thing for me. And they were big on scholarship, service, and sisterhood. And I felt like it aligned with my values. So I joined and it was good. It was good.
Okay, so going from Miami to the Midwest, that's a big change. How did you accustom to that?
I have an aunt who lives in Detroit, so I went shopping for the winter as soon as I got up there because you know Miami don't have no real winter clothes, so I had to get like real coats, real gloves, real boots, all the things. And then what else did I do? I did a lot of Google research on just like, how cold is it during this time, or how cold is it here, you know? And that was the thing. And then I found my friends, you know, when I first got to school, they were from the Midwest, so they told me a lot of things about just like what to expect, how to move. But when I first saw snow, I'll never forget, it was my freshman year, like I went outside like with just like a hoodie and some sweats on and was just like making snow angels. Like everybody was like, this girl from Miami is crazy. And I was like, no, I am so excited to see snow. Then when you live with it for months at a time, it is very good, y'all. I recommend.
Regarding like being a Delta.
Yeah.
So who was your biggest influence like to become a Delta when you got to Purdue?
So I was a part of a debutante program in Miami. So that is the sorority that's there, the chapter, Miami Alumni Chapter for Delta Sigma Theta. They have a high school program for girls 9th to 12th grade. So I participated in that, and that's when I first really interacted with Delta women and were able to see like the kind of work and programming they do in the community and just how they were giving back to us as youth. So that was my biggest influence to wanting to join. So when I got to school in college, I made sure like I was like, okay, where are all the sororities there? Like I wanted to still do my research, get to know each of them. But on my campus at the time, the Deltas were like the girls to be, and they were all involved and in leadership and just doing great things on campus. So that, of course, inspired me as well and influenced my decision to move forward with applying for membership.
You talked about the debutante program that you started in high school. How did you hear of this program?
The debutante program that I was a part of, a family friend, somebody from church. They were like a part of the sorority, so they had recommended me to be a part of it. I know that there are some girls right now at YWCA who are in the
There
program.
is.
And y'all have Miss Burrows, so she's in the chapter. So now she, of course, I know makes recommendations for you all and stuff. So it's good. It's definitely worth it. And I think it's something that as society we don't do anymore, like the actual debutante ball. And I think that's the really key piece of just like coming into womanhood, but also like presenting yourself to society. I think it's a lost art. But it was amazing. I enjoyed it.
It's amazing.
So I know that you went to USF after you went to. So what was the switch back to, the Midwest and now back to Florida? What was that like?
So yeah, after living in Indiana for what, 5-6 years, something like that, 5.5 years, I was applying to grad school and I was like, I want to get closer south. Like I need to get south. And then when I got accepted to USF, they had a high ranking College of Public Health program. I was going for my master's in public health. So that was a part of my decision. And this being closer to home, where I was like, I don't want to go all the way back to Miami, but I want to be able to get to home because I had missed so many years and just like things that were happening at home because I was away in college that I didn't get to come home for. So I knew I wanted to be back closer. Yeah, so that was part of my decision. And then when I moved to Tampa was cool. Like I live in Tampa now again, so I liked it enough to come back to Tampa. I enjoyed it. I think it was like adulthood. So you were no longer in college, but I was in a program where I was still with people who were like-minded and around my age. So we had built connections during our program, but it was a 2-year program, so it's very short in comparison to undergrad. So by the time we all graduated, we went off to go get careers. Like everybody went different ways, right? But I still talk to some of them from my program. But I enjoy USF actually. For graduate school, I did.
So, from Young Women's, how do you feel that the environment here shaped you to going headfirst into adulthood?
High school preparing me for adulthood? I don't know. I don't think it really prepared me for adulthood. I think it prepared me for college, but not adulthood. So that's a whole different piece. Okay, y'all are not ready. Stay where you can as long as you can. Okay, because when you get out here, you got bills. You got to think about health insurance. You got to file taxes. Like that's real life. I wish they did teach us that in high school and college because when you don't know, you don't know. So I will say it prepared me for college in the sense that we were a very rigorous school as far as like taking AP, taking dual enrollment, doing all the things. So that level of time management of like being involved in extracurricular stuff, but also having a heavy workload prepared me to have really good study habits and time management habits in school. So when I got to college, I was just kind of like, here's my planner, here's my days. You throw in some fun here and there, but I knew how to be like a good student. And I think that's what YWCA prepared me for. And then of course meeting people from different like backgrounds and from different neighborhoods in South Florida, y'all bring people from all over at YWPA. That helped me to be open-minded of others versus if I was at a school where everybody looked like me, was from the same neighborhood, I think I would have been a little more closed off to meeting people from different backgrounds and different walks of life. So I do appreciate that.
I know you mentioned that you also worked with Girl Talk when you were over there in Purdue. How was that process, managing such a big organization over here while you were so far away?
That was hard. Like that was a part of my struggle with things, that it was a lot because it was like I'm not physically in high school anymore. So that's when I came up with the idea of like I need a Girl Talk committee because I didn't want to be the person making the sole decision for something that you all were receiving without having your input. So that's when I was like, hey, I had people who were in high school when I was there heading the committee at the time, like, hey, pick 3, 4, 5 of your peers who will have good work ethic and have good ideas, and like y'all come together. Let me know some ideas of like what you want to talk about. What are y'all experiencing? Because the further I got away from high school, the more things change. Like what y'all are experiencing right now does not look like what I experienced. There are going to be some things about like, college prep, relationships, just general things. But then like mental health wasn't a big thing back in my day. So it's very prominent, right? Because we're more aware, we know more about it, we talk about it openly. But that was probably never in our first 4 years of Girl Talk, right? So I think with me being in college, it was important that I leaned on you all. And then Miss Pierre was a very big like pillar. I tell you all the time, like without her, there would be no Girl Talk. And literally for the first 8 years, probably, she was like the backbone, making sure like we were finding funny, making sure the paperwork was getting done down there. her, my mom helped me a lot because they were physically in Miami and able to like go to the venue, work with Miami-Dade College, like all those things I couldn't physically do. And then Miss Burrows came in and has taken over, and I'm super grateful for her as well. So like that helps with me being away, having trusted persons at the school who I know understand my vision and my mission and will help make sure that y'all get what you need and that I get what I need.
So this past our Girl Talk conference was our 16th Girl Talk conference. So how does it feel? I know that for me personally, I've done 4 years of Girl Talk, and every single year there's something new to talk about. There's so many things arising in the world, like especially with mental health. Mental health is very important nowadays. The importance of taking care of your mental health, knowing what to do for yourself because everyone is different. What is something you've had to learn in regards to the world changing and providing a better curriculum and providing better speakers for Girl Talk?
That comes from you, the committee, every year. So I always try to do either survey or have you all select the topics because I think it's important that as any organization that serves youth or a specific population, that population should have a voice at the table. So like that's something I've always lived by because I think as adults, we try to make a lot of decisions for kids without even asking them. And I think that your voices matter. So hearing that, like, this is what you need, it then puts the pressure on me to be like, okay, let me go find somebody who can provide that, right? Because every year it's not the same speakers. So I always have to go out, check into my network, see, hey, you know somebody who can cover this? Like, you know somebody? So that's always a task. I'll say I need to start building some kind of directory of like all the people we've used and people who can come in and out and back. But I do try to switch it up because I know at first it was some of the same people consistently when we were starting. So now I try to do that, but I'm also open to when the committee may have like recommendations for somebody who's maybe come for Women's Month or Career Day or whatever at your school that you enjoy. And that has helped sometimes. And I've had some of those people come in and talk to the classes. So yeah, I think hopefully I answered your question.
So I do know that you work with helping people with heart disease and HIV and stuff like that. I was wondering if founding Girl Talk had an impact on your work with that organization, or is it just something that you always wanted to do, and because of your public health background, you wanted to take on that goal?
Yeah, public health is my baby I found in college. So I originally went to school to be a pharmacist, and that didn't work out for me because I was just like, these classes are too hard and I don't see myself pushing pills 10 years from now, right? So I got out of pharmacy and found public health. And then I was like, oh, wow, there's a way to help people where they live, work, play, eat, and help prevent them from getting sick and diseases. It's just that people don't know about the information or things that they need to do. I want to do that. Like, I want to help educate people so that they can live healthy and longer lives. And that became my mission when it came to public health. So I say I have two heart works. One is girls and women and one is public health. So like those are my two things. And when I get a chance to like bring those together, I'm always like, woo, I'm in a happy place, y'all. Like that's my perfect medium. So as far as my career goes, like all of that was inspired by my passion just to help people to live healthier, longer lives and be an advocate for equity in spaces. I went from working in HIV and sexual health to working for the federal government, and now I work for a local nonprofit dealing with food insecurity and health and nutrition. So there's no specific like topic area that I'm like, oh, I just want to keep doing that. I just want to be able to help people, like point blank. However, I know that my work is contributing to a mission that's helping community and helping people with their health.
That's really great. I know, especially like now because we're seniors in high school, we're trying to find our things, trying to find what we're passionate for and everything. We're like, me personally, we're both volunteering for an organization called Breakthrough Miami. And through Breakthrough, we learned that we both have a passion for education and working with children. So it's amazing that you founded Girl Talk, and then from there you got to pursue your love for public health. So I know you're public health. You love that. That's your baby. But was there any time along the road where you were like, maybe this is not what I want to do? Maybe I want to try something different?
That was the transition from pharmacy to public health. Like I have wanted to be a pharmacist since I was in 6th grade. It was very hard for me to pivot in college and let that go because I left home saying like, I'm coming back Dr. Robinson. I'm coming back as a pharmacist. And like, when I put my mind to something, I pretty much do it. I've always been like that. Like, I'm going to get it done and I'm going to find a way. And that was the first thing I felt like I could not accomplish and did not want to continue to do. And it was hard to like change that and not feel like damn, I failed myself, I had to shift my mindset to like, actually, there's a way to still help people, a way to still be successful. It just may look different in my journey. So once I came to accept that, it was easier for me to like get into public health and learn to love that. But sometimes you'll learn like what you think you're gonna go to be for school may not be what you end up becoming. It happens, and I think you just have to figure out, like you said, what other things make you passionate or maybe similar in alignment with that, so that you can continue on a path of happiness and of like learning and growing. It just may not be the one that you've already written out that you thought you may do.
Love your story, Shakira. You're very inspirational. I feel like throughout high school, I remember we talked about this on the way to Girl Talk too. I remember having my note, because one of the activities my freshman year of Girl Talk was to set a goal for yourself for your high school career.
Not even for your high school career. We set a couple of goals in the 9th grade, and then it was your mom who told us to save it and keep it in a note or in an email, whatever, so we could have it 4 years after, so we could look back to it in our senior year.
And we looked back at it.
Yeah.
And I realized that honestly, you're somebody that a bunch of girls here at the school look up to. And it's the simple details with Girl Talk and with your character that I think inspire us to do something different in the school and uplift the people around us at the end of the day. So generally, thank you, because I feel like you opened the gates to what young women can really be.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, Girl Talk was something that you started off just because you wanted to do it and you wanted to give these girls an outlet and a safe space. And now it's become something so beautiful that all of our girls are becoming leaders just like you. So
Thank you.
So being in a small environment where you can kind of be like, hey, this is what we want to do, right? And you find the right staff or person to back you and support you and do it. Or even if it's outside of school, like I think my biggest takeaway from like high school and experiencing Girl Talk and starting it was that like, you're gonna do anything you put your mind to, as long as you got people who support you, honestly. So whatever change you see that you want to do or whatever cause you want to get behind or pour into, like, do it. And do it while you're young, because it can become this thing later on, or it could be a short 5-year thing, but it's like, damn, I got to experience that and do something that I really set my mind to it do.
And ending with one last question. What is one word or one short sentence that you would use to give advice to the girls here at the school?
Don't try to do it all alone. Don't try to do it all alone.
yeah.
It's always, every season of my life, there have been moments where I'm like, I needed to do some things alone. And then there were a lot of moments where like I had to learn to ask for help, coming from being super independent, learn to lean on others, and learn to like put something that this baby that I trust and have built into the hands of others to help me get it done. And that was the hardest part for me. It still is to this day, because I'm just like, I'll just do it. And we constantly get in that, but that's how you burn yourself out. So don't try to do it all alone, no matter what it is. Either from school to studying to graduating to getting a job and career, who you know, the people you're connected to will matter in the end.
Yeah, I really love that piece of advice. I feel like, again, being at this school, our graduating class is only 19 girls, so I consider them all my sisters. So just being in this environment, you have a support system. And you always know that whatever you're doing, they're always gonna be there for you. So I really love that piece of advice. And that is it for another episode of Femme Forward. Remember to show your love and support, subscribe to our channel, like and comment down below. Our Instagram and all our social media handles will be linked in the bio. And if you want to get connected with Girl Talk, Shaquira, please let us know.
They can find us at Girl Talk 1-on-1 MIA, the number 1 on 1. And we are on Instagram and Facebook. So check us out, get connected. We're always looking for volunteers and help. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.